Hi Senior School, welcome to week 4 of remote learning. So over the next 3 weeks, our writing focus will be procedural text. And I'm sure most of you have had some experience in writing a procedure. Well, what is a procedure? A procedure is a sequence of events that are written out in really clear steps. So let's go over the elements of a procedural text. So firstly, we need to state our goal. So our goal is basically what will happen in the end. It might be how to make Anzac biscuits. Secondly, the materials. Okay, we need to list the materials, and here is where you may use either numbering or some bullet points to list your materials or your equipment that are needed to achieve your goal. And thirdly, the method, which here is where you outline the steps that you need to take to reach your goal. Let's have a look at some verbs. We know that there are different types of verbs. Firstly, there are linking verbs, which do not show action. They connect the subject of the verb to more information about the subject. For example, Lisa was a student, was being the linking verb. Then there are helping verbs. So helping verbs, or sometimes we call them auxiliary verbs, come before the main verb in a sentence, and they assist the main verb showing time and meaning. So for example, John has completed the assignment, has being the helping verb. So it's the action completed before the now. Then, importantly for procedure writing, there are imperative verbs. So you may know them as bossy verbs. So here are some examples of imperative verbs. So girls and boys, we've had a look at some different types of verbs, some linking verbs, some helping verbs, and most importantly, those imperative verbs, which are your bossy verbs, that are those really important ones that you want to have in your writing that tells the person exactly what to do. So to help along our imperative verbs, we're going to be using some adverbs. So let's have a look at some of those examples. So girls and boys, let's have a look at some examples of some adverbs. So as a reminder, an adverb describes a verb or an adjective or another adverb. And it tells how often, when and where. So let's have a look at some how adverbs. So for your procedure writing, if I'm making Anzac biscuits, I might need to stir slowly. I might need to sift the flour once, telling me how often. And telling me when to do something, I might need to grease the tray before I put the cookie dough on the tray. And to tell me where, I'm going to put that tray inside the oven. Let's have a look at our woggle, what a good one looks like. So this one, how to make Anzac biscuits. So this is our goal. Then we have a little bit of background information, some interesting history around the Anzac biscuit and how it all came about, which might be quite interesting for the reader. Then we have a small paragraph describing the end product. We have our list of ingredients, and then we have our method. We can see here on step 1, we've used a time connective firstly. And then all these circled words, they are our imperative verbs, our commanding verbs. So you can see how important they are in a procedural text. Over here we have an example of a verb, a doing word, so we are stirring. And over here we have the adverb gently. So we're making sure that we're stirring gently. Right down the bottom, you can also add a little tip if it's appropriate for you and your piece of writing.